Meanwhile, St. Anne's Southwestern MP Zavia Mayne is reassuring constituents that the closure of Clydesdale Primary School does not mean other schools will suffer the same fate. He explains that schools are required to have at least 30 students to remain open. Mr. Mayne says the affected students will be supported and that steps will be taken to ensure they have a smooth transition to their new schools.
When you have to pay teachers at different grade level, you have to maintain a principal, you have academic and ancillary staff, administrative staff. It just was not prudent to keep that school. So I want you to understand that sufficient plans are made for the teachers and for the students. And the government has given a commitment, and my responsibility for those parents, for those students who now have to travel elsewhere to school, my duty is to make sure that the government fulfills its responsibility.
Over in St. Mary, amid concerns about the condition of roads and bridges in Port Maria, Mayor Fitzroy Wilson says work is being done to address issues. The details in this report.
For years, motorists traveling through parts of Port Maria in St. Mary have had to deal with deteriorating road infrastructure compounded by damage to the Orchid Bridge. The Mayor Fitzroy Wilson says complaints from drivers prompted the municipality to take action.
We have persons complaining that the bridge would have slashed their tires, would have damaged their front end and other areas of the road. We allocated some funds and we fixed the abutment to the bridge so that they can drive over the Orchard Bridge in more ease.
Mayor Wilson says the bridge had become a hazard for motorists.
We would have heard the complaints about the rough area in front of the KFC, and late last year we would have done some work on it. It is not a full work, but it was something to be temporary, with the intention to do a more fulsome, long-term fix to the problem.
He says the work forms part of wider efforts to improve infrastructure and to make Port Maria safer and easier to navigate for motorists.
When we are using taxpayers' money, it is for us to report as to those efforts. And we're pleased today to say that for the approximately 2 years that we've been leading the charge in the St. Mary's Corporation, we have done a whole lot. I say to my CEO on a regular basis and Chief Engineering Officer, we've done a lot, we could have done more. And sometimes they think that I am just hard to satisfy. But as it is, if you may permit me, if the Chief Engineering Officer said that I'm hard to satisfy, then I might be offended. But if my beautiful CEO said that, then I will be commended.
Aliyah Bryant, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, Mayor Wilson says the cemetery in Port Maria will be getting some well-needed attention. The municipality has partnered with Richmond Farm Prison and members of the business community to debush the area, as well as remove garbage and other debris. Mr. Wilson says the cleanup is more than halfway complete.
Residents, you would have seen the condition of the cemeteries in recent times. We have partnered because funding is an issue, despite what Minister Mackenzie would have said in public deliberation on the TV and radio recently. We have embarked on a partnership program with the Richmond Farm Prison when we saw the condition at the prison, at the cemetery in Port Maria. We reached out to Mispa Funeral Home and other funeral homes for assistance.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Salada Food Jamaica is reporting strong financial results for the 9 months ended June 30. Net profit for the 9 months increased by 40.6% to $168.5 million. Gross revenue rose $1.282 billion, an 11.5% increase over the corresponding period last year. The company also recorded strong performance in the third quarter, with revenue increasing by 16.1% to $443.4 million. Salada says the growth reflects continued demands for its products in both the local and export markets. Operational efficiency and cost management also contributed to the improved performance. Salada says the results were supported by improved cost discipline and the absence of one-off redundancy expenses incurred during the same period last year. Further afield, crews across the western U.S. are battling a number of raging wildfires, and that includes Nevada's Bug Fire north of Reno, close to the California border. Winds have been propelling this fire, which has already burned more than 4,000 acres. Fire officials say it's still growing. The Bug Fire has already forced evacuations in the Cold Springs and Red Rock areas, where crews have been working to protect homes from being destroyed. Crews from across the Tahoe Basin joined in the fight, with aircraft making drops throughout the night Saturday. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Prince Moore.
Thank you, Prince. Time now for the top stories from around the world.
In the region, hundreds of thousands of people in Puerto Rico are going without running water for up to 48 hours at a time as authorities implement rotating water rationing amid a severe drought. Households have been divided into two groups, with water supplies shut off for 48 hours on alternating days. Residents in the capital San Juan have criticized the rationing. Officials have not said when the measure will end, but Puerto Rico recorded its driest July on record, with 68% of the island currently experiencing drought conditions. And on the international scene, Taylor Farms is recalling several prepared foods made with jalapeno peppers amid a salmonella outbreak linked to the peppers. The recalled products include pico de gallo and guacamole, distributed to retailers including Walmart and Target in 26 U.S. states. The company says it is not aware of any illnesses linked to the products. The recall affects products with best if used by dates through August 16. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aliyah Bryant.
Thank you, Alia. We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your Midday Sports Report with Christopher Scott.